freedom fans and friends of liberty, welcome back to Are You Smarter Than a Libertarian? The show where we ask the big questions, dig into fascinating topics, and sometimes just revel in the fact that nobody can boss us around except maybe the laws of logic. I'm Jeff, your host and resident guy who once tried to pay taxes and monopoly money, and just don't ask. Just don't. And today we're talking about one of the biggest pitfalls in our everyday thinking, the correlation-causation fallacy. You know, that little mental slip-up that makes you think, I ate a burrito for breakfast, and then I aced my exam. Burritos equal instant A's. Spoiler alert. If only it were that simple, but hey, if there's one place where we are comfortable with complicated truths, it's a show about libertarians, right? Now let's dive in. If your eyes are glazing over the mention of correlation, causation, stick with me. I promise this will get funnier, or at least weirder. Just stick around. The correlation causation fallacy basically happens when we see two things occur together and jump to the conclusion that one directly causes the other. For example, if I spend exactly 5 minutes dancing like a maniac before flipping on my laptop, and then I have a super productive day, I might conclude that my pre-work dance session really caused me to be more productive. Sure, dancing lifts your spirit, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the sole reason I was able to shred through emails and spreadsheets. Plus, you can imagine how quickly that logic can fall off the rails if I believe dancing is the cause of my productivity. What happens if I sprain an ankle? Then it's spreadsheet doom for me, so let's be careful with our own mental leaps here. You see, correlation is simply a relationship, our connection between two variables. They move in the same related way. It can be positive, both go up together, or negative, one goes up and the other goes down, but this does not prove that one causes the other. Picture a graph that shows ice cream sales go up in the summer, so do the number of, let's say, goat yoga classes in rural Washington state. Yes, goat yoga is a thing. Just Google it. Seeing those lines rise together might be hilarious, but it doesn't imply that eating more mint chocolate chip is causing more goat yoga classes to appear. What's really driving both might be the warm weather or people's desire for something new and quirky to do outdoors. Of course, if there's a chance that goat yoga can help you burn off that ice cream, that's synergy, my friends, not causation. When you see a strong correlation, there are a few possibilities. Direct causation. A causes B. We all know that. Reverse causation. B is causing A. Whoops. I might have gotten that backwards. Third factor. Both A and B are caused by some hidden variable C. Pure coincidence. The correlation is basically random, or the result of thousands of data points that just happen to align in a goofy way. Like when you look up and see a constellation and you give it significance over your life. They just line up that way. Doesn't mean anything. It's like a carnival game. Just because two rubber ducks are floating side by side doesn't mean they're soulmates. Sometimes they're just stuck in the same current. Now for the fun part, let's look at some truly bizarre correlations to illustrate how silly this can get. Nicolas Cage movies versus swimming pool drownings. There's a famous and darkly comic chart showing the correlation between the number of films Nicolas Cage appears in each year and the number of people drowning in swimming pools. The lines match in a way that will make your jaw drop and also your sense of reason. Clearly watching National Treasure for the 900th time doesn't make you more likely to attempt an ill-fated backflip into a pool. Here's another old internet meme. Pirates versus global warming. There's an old internet meme claiming that as the number of pirates has decreased, global temperatures have risen. Therefore, lack of pirates causes global warming. If that were the case, we'd solve climate change by recruiting a legion of pirates. But I'm thinking that might not pass the practical test. Though it does sound like a premise for a fun summer blockbuster, pirates versus global warming, battle for the thermometer. That's actually not bad. Anytime you come across a chart that seems too perfectly aligned, always check your logic and your sense of humor. So you were asking, why should we care? Because this isn't just random data in an internet meme. Our brains are wired to find patterns. That's why we have pattern recognition. It's how we navigate the world. But if we're not careful, we start building beliefs, policies, or personal decisions on faulty connections. Imagine someone saying, I notice that every time I drink coffee in the afternoon, my stock portfolio goes up. I should invest in more coffee shops to get richer. That might just be the day's market fluctuation, buddy, not your cappuccino. But if you're running your investments on that logic, you might be disappointed when your caffeinated optimism runs headfirst into reality of a market correction or recession. This is a whole video I could do on about emotion-based investing, and I'm going to probably do that video later. This is especially important in policy discussions like in politics or economics, where flawed data interpretations can lead to big mistakes. Remember, we libertarians love to reduce heavy-handed government interventions, but if your argument is based on bogus data, you might end up creating more problems instead of solving any. So, facts, logic, and reason first, folks. Ask why. If you see a correlation, dig deeper. Ask if there's a plausible mechanism connecting the two. Do we have any reason to believe one thing would directly cause another? Look for variables, not just headlines. This is why when you see on TikTok or YouTube, people just read the headlines and don't actually dig into the article, you miss a lot. Could something else be causing both phenomena to occur? Economists call these confounding variables. For instance, if we're seeing a correlation between cheap pizza consumption and unicorn sightings, maybe you live in a college town during finals week where people are both delirious, leading to unicorn hallucinations, and cheap pizza is abundant. That's a perfectly good example of that. Experiment, observe, repeat. When possible, test it out. Look at multiple data sets. Try and see if the correlation holds steady over time or in different contexts. The scientific principle. Be comfortable saying, I don't know. And that is the foundation of all wisdom and knowledge is I don't know. Sometimes the data is just not conclusive, and that's okay. A little humility never hurt anyone, and in the long run, it helps you avoid big mistakes like launching your daily productivity ritual with a Samba routine you're convinced is essential to your success. It's kind of a superstition. And we all have our superstitions, and they're neither right nor wrong. They just don't necessarily prove anything. We libertarians stand for personal and economic freedom, but that doesn't mean turning a blind eye to data or reason. It means doubling down on the facts and forging better arguments. Think about it. If we base our policies or personal decisions on random correlations like my friend got mugged, so we need more laws to stop mugging. That's just a random fact. It's anecdotal, and that's going to be my next one on Monday. We might find ourselves proposing laws like everyone must watch a Nicolas Cage movie before using the public pool. I'm sure some folks might actually like that, but trust me, that is not the kind of legislation we want to see in a free society. We see this all the time in modern society. Just do some Google searches, you'll find it. And go on your TikTok feed. All right, my liberty-loving pals. That's it for today's exploration into the weird and wonderful world of correlation versus causation. Next time you see a slick chart on social media or read an article claiming some shocking new discovery, pause, question it. Ask if that fancy line graph is showing something real or if it's just serving up a heaping plate of spurious nonsense. Because you'll see on charts that they'll cut them off in some points and only show very recent, called recency bias. Ultimately, you're in charge of your own brain, so let's keep it sharp, shall we? And that's a wrap for this episode of Are You Smarter Than a Libertarian? We love that you spent part of your day hanging out with me because apparently there's a strong correlation between my audience's intelligence and the number of episodes they watch. But hey, I'm not causing your smarts, or am I? I'll let you figure that one out. If you enjoyed today's show, please give it a like, subscribe for more, and share it with a friend who needs a quick lesson in logical thinking. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Tell me the strangest correlation you've ever come across. Thank you for tuning in to Are You Smarter Than a Libertarian? New videos drop every day. Until next time, stay free, stay informed, stay accountable, and I hope I earned your subscription today.